Welcome, everyone, to the AGL NA Albion Division Finals. I'm Majin Busha, your host for the desk, and alongside with me today is none other than C-Money. How's it going, brother?
Doing pretty well. Thanks for having me out for this.
Absolutely. Couldn't think of a better person that could join me today, as seeing as you have faced both teams throughout the split of the Albion Division. So, with that said, we can look at how everybody got here through the tournament, and they can show that on your screen here. And I see Money, you guys, I remember watching your game against Legion, and I thought you guys were going to be here until a couple things just didn't go your way.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of losing to both these teams pretty badly throughout the season. We did play Legion in the semis. The first game was extremely close, but we did have a couple things kind of fall apart for us, and they are a very good team with Tekio is really hard to deal with once he gets going, and Crow as well, and that kind of snowballed for us. So they're very difficult to deal with. They've got a lot of strengths just kind of across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. It just reminds me of the European side of things where the Chalk got into the finals, the number one and number two teams, X being your number one team, Legion being your number two team tonight. And what can you tell me about X?
X has been extremely dominant all season. Like, I don't think they've had a game outside of one of the other teams that has really been close at all. They've kind of just steamrolled through the league for the most part. I think even when them and Legion met up during the season, it was a little bit lopsided. They've been very together and very dominant all season long. They've got, just power all across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I remember I did watch that week 6 matchup between Legion and X there. X did get the 2-0, so I'm curious if that's going to be the same thing today. But what can you tell us about Legion? What do you think they have that can turn this around? Instead of getting a 2-0, maybe they can turn it in their favor.
Legion fights very well as a team. Even if they have a rough laning phase, which was the case, they did have a rough laning phase like when we played them in the semis. But once they start grouping for fights, they have a very strong team fight, and they always seem very coordinated. And they have several members who can just kind of pop off, like in any given team fight, and it kind of can completely turn a game around.
Well, to me, that sounds a little bit Sanguine-esque if you're talking about grouping up and having a great team fight. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into picks and bans right away. And X is going to be on your left side, the order. AG Legion is going to be on the right-hand side, your Chaos team. Looks like Ulu is going to be the first ban, C-Money. What do you think about that ban there?
That's an interesting one. They do have first pick, so it seems like a little bit of a throwaway ban kind of towards the ADC, because they can kind of flex, always when you have first pick, you can always kind of flex that first ban if you want to. So we have seen Crow play it. He does normally play the Jing Wei if he's given that, so I might have rather seen that, but that's kind of what that looks like to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Crow, I don't think there's many games I didn't see him playing the Jing Wei. It's just like that's been his go-to since day one, it feels like. Zhang Kui recently got his passive reverted, and he's been a top solo laner. I know you guys enjoy him quite a bit, and it looks like he's going to be the ban away for Legion. And looking back at the other side, looked like Merlin's going to be that second ban there.
Yeah, both good bans. Zhang Kui is very dangerous right now. We kind of played it every game that we got a chance to this season, and Merlin, you don't want to give Tekio Merlin at all. That's pretty standard.
Yeah, Tekio has gone crazy on things like Thoth and Merlin throughout the split. Has also had a pretty nice Scylla as well, but we'll see how the rest of these bans come out, as Jormungandr is going to be banned away. A little surprising, I would say. Penguin usually likes to pick that up. Do you think they have a different plan in place?
Yeah, that is a little surprising, because Penguin will play that every single game if you give him that. He likes that and Kakalan a lot. But maybe just whatever draft they have in mind, they just don't want to play into a Yorm, so they may have something different planned here.
That is possible. Thor going to be the final ban for X here. Nike been the flavor of the month ever since she's been seen in the jungle quite a bit, and just has been flexed to the solo lane as well. Is going to be taken away. So It leaves Umoja open. Things like Sovek and Jingwei, we could look to pick those kind of things away. Looks like it's going to be Umoja in its place. So looks like they favor this going into the hands of Illicit. How do you feel about Illicit and the marriage with him and Umoja?
Umoja is very strong. We have seen her kind of fall off a little bit lately in usage, but she is still incredibly strong. That ultimate can really turn any team fight. The healing, she does provide a whole lot, so there's nothing wrong at all with that first pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Has one of the strongest level 5s in the game with that huge ultimate. Just being able to create such a cut-off path or a trap, whatever she chooses to do with it. Looks like it's going to be answered with the Sobek and the Jing Chen. So first 3 picks overall in the draft are going to be Guardians.
That is a little surprising. Sobek, I can definitely see. It's a little weird to me to see 2 Guardians both picked up there. I think this is probably pretty clearly going to be Solo Beck since Penguin picked it, and I mean it just makes sense that way. So that is a little strange. I think you maybe could have gotten Xingtian later and sniped away, like a mid laner or something for Tekio, but we'll see what they have planned with this.
Absolutely. And speaking of mid laners, Raijin going to be picked up, likely going into Waffle's hands there. Also going to pick up the Robin. That's been a staple for Big Mama Bubbles, as you know very well.
Yeah, Robin is just so strong right now. I think he's easily a top 3 jungler in this current meta that we're in. He provides so much, and especially going in, I mean, you look at that Sobek and Jing 10 on the other side, that's a great pick into that for the immunity flip, and Robin just provides so much.
Yeah, definitely. Robin's definitely one of those gods you think of when you want to control a mid lane. You just want to dive on top of whatever mage they pick up. But, a lot of safety is going to come out here as Crow. No surprise here. He's going to pick up the Jingwei.
Crow picked Jingwei, and other news like water's wet. Crow will play the game if you let him. It's a big comfort pick for him. He's very good at the Jingwei, so that's not surprising in the least bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at the top 3 for each team. Which draft are you liking so far the best?
I really like Exit. It's a little weird to me. Like, I don't know how I feel about the double Guardians. But you look at X, they got 3 very top pick gods in this entire meta. I mean, I guess you could say the same about Sobek and Jingwei, but I mean, Umoja, Raijin, and Robin is a very strong top 3.
Yeah, absolutely they are. And looks like phase 2 bans are already on the way. Legion going to ban up the Ho Yi. Don't want to see a Ho Yi ult on top of the Umoja ult. That's definitely a for sure thing. And plus, excuse me. Plus, Speechless he's been popping off on some Ho Yi lately as well, from what I've seen. Discordia going to be the next ban coming out from X here. And why do you think they banned away the disco here?
Tekio is a discussing Discordia. He's very, very good at it, very comfortable on it. He also has a discussing Raijin. We've seen him play both of those very strong. He also has a good Scylla. So I'm not surprised at all to see that ban. That's a comfort pick for him.
Well, Cyrus going to be the second ban for Legion this phase. You mentioned the Scylla just now, and that's the one that gets taken away. So looks like they're going to take a second phase Hunbots. He's gotten into second phase a lot more recently. He was a top pick for such a long time, but are you surprised that Bots was picked up here for Legion?
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it didn't get banned more than I am that it got picked up. Bots is still, I mean, even with the nerf, his cooldowns and stuff, he's still very strong. And I mean, that ultimate can change an entire fight every time. Like, all he has to do is click 4, and he is completely relevant in the game.
Yeah, once he hits level 5, similar to Umoja, we're talking about one of the best level 5s in the game. And it just goes to show that, both teams have one of them, one of the second phase, but the other one, the very first pick. Looks like Rama is going to be the hunter of choice on your X side, and they're going to go ahead and pick up a Kuzumbo as well. So Kuzumbo solo into probably Sobek is what I'm thinking. Do you think the same?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, you're not going to see Umoja over there, so that's definitely a Kuz solo, and I think I'd much rather see the Sobek and solo lane rather than the Xing 10.
Yeah, I know that Jing Chen is one of the comfort picks for Pingu, at least from last season, and he probably still has it in his pocket. But last pick, going to be the Giannis. You know, the thought was available as well, and Morgan too. That kind of surprises me they take the Giannis over that.
Yeah, I've honestly never seen Takeo play Giannis. I know, I mean, the guy is very good and can play just about any mage, but I have not personally seen him on the Giannis or seen them use this Giannis, so it'll be interesting to see how that impacts this game.
Absolutely, and this is going to be our game one. Remember, the winner of this finals they will share 12,000 gems amongst each other. But second place, not too bad either. Going to be spreading, 6,000 amongst each other. But before we get into that first game, before we go to break, seed money, who do you got winning game one?
I really like the draft of X, and like I said, they haven't been beaten, so until proven otherwise, I think I have to go with them in this one. We'll see if Legion can come out on top here.
Sounds great. Well, with that said, we're going to throw it through a small break real quick and get ready. See you in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're coming live with the AGL NA Albion Division Finals, X versus AG Legion. I'm TIH Vengeance, joined today by Lermy Wormy. And Lermy, this is going to be an interesting looking game. These comps, the Double Guardian, not what we're used to seeing. Any reasons maybe they went away from the Warriors?
I'm honestly not too sure. I would have thought, King Arthur would have been a good option. Even Achilles has been seeing some light recently in the solo lane, but these are going to be two big boys going at each other in the solo lane, and honestly, I don't see them really having a whole lot of action there. Neither Sobek nor Kuzumbo really has that kill potential, so I think all of the action is going to be centered around the mid and dual lane, and if anything, I think the number one goal here for X is to slow down this Jingwei, and that's exactly what Illicit Sleet is doing.
Yeah, and one of the things that always seems to be when there's a Jingwei is take every advantage you can early to kill her. Sleet's doing a really good job, though, of keeping them from get the lane. Hitting a couple stuns there. Didn't quite steal the buff, so he's going to have to just walk away back to lane. But this ROM, with those attack speed buffs that he got, his lane clear, as we see, is just absolutely incredible. And what does this exactly mean Crow's going to need to do if he wants to really be able to ever hit the gas pedal?
It's going to be a matter of time. I think as long as they don't fall down super early in the game, the Jingwei will eventually come back and be able to box out with that ROM. But as long as Sleet is there, it's going to be a little difficult because he's got that inherent healing, he's got some nice CC, he's got the shields, and there's just so many good things that a Yamoja can bring. And I'm honestly surprised she made it through picks and bans, to be honest with you. But at the same time, she has been kind of in contention with one of the top gods in the meta, so the big question mark is, does she deserve to be there? We'll have to see if Sleet can prove it.
Yeah, she's been one of the more interesting picks and ban decisions so far that we've seen this season. Used to be she was just auto banned because you didn't want to deal with her quick control, but certain buffs, some people don't value her as highly, even though a good Yamoja player can absolutely ruin your game. So, with this, Oracles, X want to get this started, but Tekio and Walters are both here, and they do get stolen away by Legion. Sleet's finding himself in trouble. The overhead slam is not enough, though, this early. So Sleet's going to be able to walk out at level 2. 2 members from mid and jungle are level 3, though. So this right now is interesting for X. This kind of pressure they gave up trying to go for Oracles that they got absolutely nothing for.
Really unfortunate that they did lose that, and now's the time where buffs are coming up once again, so we're going to see junglers probably either going back to base or heading over there, so no ganks quite yet. Not surprised by that at all, but that just means that Crow is once again going to get his purple buff, which is good for him. And check out his solo lane here. Looks like Sagan's actually really low, and I'm actually surprised to see that there is actually a good deal of fighting over here.
Yeah, that's one of the things Penguin does like to do with more aggressive characters, and especially since he's going up against the Kuzan bow, so Becky does have that freedom. Considering it also looks like he had 2 full waves stacked on each other looking at those archers that are left behind, but Bubbles gonna secure Sagan's blue buff for him, and instead Penguin, he's gonna let the waves meet while he's doing Totem of Ku, but over in dual lane, Crow and Karma have gotta back away from the waves as Moon and Sleep both were running to get really aggressive there, but nothing's going to come of it as both mid laners now level 5. And it looks like our junglers are getting close to that too, which means, Lermy, we may be seeing a bit of spark of action coming out from at least Walters on the Hun box.
It's been really good, though, that neither member in the duel lane has had to burn their actives quite yet, because Hunbot can be quite a spectacle to deal with if you're unprepared, so just being able to hold on to those guys as long as possible is going to be really beneficial. But Tekio looks like he's going to have to back after this wave, no mana and low health, but here comes the gank you were talking about, Vengeance. We've got the bots around the corner.
Fear No Evil comes out, Sleep finds himself in trouble, went forward, but he did this to distract so Moon could get away using the dash successfully. So even though First Blood goes to Legion, Moon doesn't pay anything for it other than his beads. That's Fear No Evil, 3 members to take down Sleep. And Moon's just going to get the free solo farm here, so he may hit level 5 in a second, which I'm going to say for X, that's not that bad.
Not that bad for sure, but losing that First Blood does suck, and it's especially bad that it goes straight onto the support too. I mean, it's going to be nice to have the support getting that bit of a lead. It's like a direct feed into the pocket of Bad Karma, so he's going to have that ultimate already, and that could prove pretty useful if he makes that rotation to mid. Now that Fear No Evil is down, that's just another big circle that Arrow Waffle's going to have to deal with.
Yes, it is, and the nice thing about Jing Tian from Karma is that he can just go anywhere on the map. He doesn't have Blink, though, so he's going to have to be a little more careful on his initiation. His ult will act as CC immunity, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy enough for him to get to his target. So it's going to be interesting to see what he decides to do. Right now, both blue buffs coming up. It's going to be a little easier for Bubbles to secure, whereas Walters has to wait. But in the mid lane, it looks like these Oracles are going to be under a little contention. Waffles, level 7, is being stared at by Karma, who's going to pick these up. But instead, Takio uses space and time to get over, but it doesn't matter. Sleet finishes Crow with the ultimate. And now Tekio wants to try and get something done. In comes... Oh, Karma actually makes the late rotation. Tekio's over on Oracles, and absolutely nothing happens off of it.
Really unfortunate there that Crow didn't get the ultimate off. If he'd gotten the airstrike off, I'm sure he would have been safe. And, of course, those walls that Yamoja pops out do actually stop you from moving through them if you're in the enemy team. So wouldn't really help unless he could get out through the ultimate. I guess he must have not had enough mana or something, but a shame there to fall down, especially to the enemy support, who now is probably back even, if not ahead from that kill.
And Karma leaping in, does not ult yet. Finally does, but it doesn't matter. Sleet uses his escape successfully, and Karma just whiffs on the whirlwind of Rage and Steel, so now all aggression from AG Legion is deterred. Nothing they can do. Just get the neutral Harpies. And Lermy, that's unfortunate right there for the support.
It really is, and that's kind of why Xing Chen hasn't played so much anymore. But speaking of that, over the wall comes the Taiko drums, but it's not going to be good enough to save Illicit's lead. He falls down, and Bad Karma goes down next. That's a 1-for-1, it seems, treating those guys out. both supports do fall down. So once again, back to even it seems. 2-2 on the board and not even 100 gold really it seems to either team's name.
Now, do you think that fight favored either team, or was that just kind of a wash since it was just support for support?
Honestly, I've got to say it really seems to be a wash. Both junglers do have a kill, although Walters is actually ahead here because he does have the assist. And check out where Speechless is. He's up here on the left-hand side, totally pushing at this tower because he's had the advantage for what feels like this entire early game. And it's not even that the Jingwei really had that bad of a time at the beginning. It was just that one kill where he got stuck with no mana or not being able to use the ultimate that's really put him in a bad spot.
And as we see now, Crow's a little bit low on mana, but he is Jingwei with the ultimate, so as long as he's got just enough for that, he should be fine. Moon back over in dual lane, clearing fast. And now we see in this solo lane, Penguin's pushed up. He's got a slight level advantage. Misses the dash though onto Sagan, who also misses his dash. So no pluck and no push under the tower. It's kind of two abilities being used for no reason at all, but Walters is here in the Hun bots, does not have the ultimate. So just trying to see what he can get, but Sleet does find him, and he's going to put a little bit of poke, but Raiju's found. However, the leap stops any more damage. Bubbles goes on to Tekio, who has to use his portal out. Oh, Raging Waters does come out from Yamoja. Unfortunately, cannot trap anyone, so that ultimate is burned. It's a pretty big team fight ultimate, and it looks like Tekio actually did use space and time as well.
Sleet's gonna have to run around this backside to make sure he doesn't get caught out as Walters nearly has the ultimate available, but Waffles is gonna be aiming for Tekio, who actually uses the portal to dodge a shot from the drums. What an intense play there, but he might have moved up just a bit too far as here comes the washing machine, throwing Sleet right into a portal. Up, down goes both the monkey and the Xing Chen, and there's another kill for Bad Karma.
Unfortunate for Waffles. Using the Taiko Drum, 2 shots missed due to the portal that just banished his Tekio away. No damage possible. Sleet pays the price for Waffles' transgressions against Legion, but now Bad Karma trying to get aggressive. The teleport is good to get away. And over in solo lane, Sagan is soloing Penguin. He doesn't have the ultimate anymore, though.
Ooh.
But it doesn't matter. The Kappa is good enough. This is just a result of aggression from Guardians. If you get caught out and someone's got ranged as a Guardian, you're probably dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it really seemed like Penguin had the favoring in that matchup because he has sustain as Sobek, but it looks like he just did not have enough sustain to save him from the Nene Kappa, and it really came to claim him down, so good on there for Saugen to get that on his own. Now this is gonna be a pretty big lead for him, so that's good looks for the solo laner of X.
Yeah, we're now 10 minutes into the game. X finding themselves about even in gold with Legion, kills even as well, same as structures. But 10 minutes in, and we haven't really seen a look at Gold Fury in any way outside of Oracles, as Moon aware of Walter, so he's not really going to be able to afford this gank. However, he's going to go for the purple buff and secure that pretty quickly. With Bubbles here, Walters has to go away, but the dash in the blink as well. The Fear No Evil is good as he gets rooted. And now on the back end, Tekio tries to get something started. X is falling back to regroup with the members. Portal is used to get more there, but the rivers come out and Sleet is going to pay to save his team. And now is the Gold Fury is just being ignored?
I'm not surprised they're not going to go for it here. All ultimates are available other than Sleet, who did just fall down, so that could be a risky one if they don't get another pick, and they certainly were looking for it as they forced Waffles out there. They've only got the ultimate from Penguin left, who looked like he might have wanted to rotate, but with the proxying going on by Saugen all the way at the enemy Phoenix, that's not happening anytime soon, and honestly, Walter's just ignoring him here. I don't know if he could kill him. He doesn't have the Fear No Evil. He's got a decent amount of power online so far with the Brawlers in tow, but no Erendite quite yet, so honestly, letting him go back is probably a good idea, as you're not going to be wasting time on the turtle. Go get your farm instead.
Now, over in the dual lane, as a result of that, Moon is completely pushed up onto this dual lane tier 1, and it looks like Crow wanted to try and get aggressive, but he can't. He has to go back through. Doesn't want to let anything happen. And Moon, don't lazy back. Come on now. Oh no, but Waffles finds himself in trouble. Tycho Drums has to be used, trying to trade out, but the portal is too good to keep him alive, and Sleet unable to do anything about it. Waffles falls in the mid lane. Oh no, the Raijin is now 0-1-1, and this gives Techie a little bit of time to get some farm to take a further lead.
Originally, I was kind of questioning this Giannis pick because typically when you're up against a Raijin, you're going to want to have a character that has some sort of big burst damage ability that Raijin can't be moving out of in the Tycho Drums. But honestly, Tekio has been playing this Giannis super well because he's just used the portals to evade the shots from the drums, and that's super impressive to me. Ooh, ultimate expended there by Speechless Moon to try and get that purple buff back, but with that down, that may or may not open up the Gold Fury now that one steal potential option has been taken away.
Yeah, with the Tycho Drums down on Waffles as well. The Gold Fury does look like a good option, but instead, AG Legion are choosing to continue to ignore that side of the map. Instead, going to confirm the neutral Harpies over in Soul Lane. Sagan, Penguin just clearing out. Penguin takes a little bit of advantage there. Does get the Kappa thrown at him, though, so he's going to have that little nuisance following him around for a little bit, as it does finally go away. But now, over this mid lane, we have 3 members were grouped together from X. Looks like they wanted to try and get something going, or possibly just stopped very quickly, but not a whole lot going on otherwise. Slee's trying to get some sort of look into the jungle, but instead has to back off as nothing is there. So now looks like both teams are kind of deciding they want to slow down. Maybe we'll see a fight in mid lane soon, but for now, they're just going to go back to normal farming, and with buffs coming back up at least on X's side, it's going to look like they're going to have to prioritize that instead of directly forcing a fight.
At this point, I might suggest starting to rotate over the Soul Lane to make a fight here at this Gold Fury, and I was surprised to see that X is the one starting it up here, as you would have thought the guys in control would be the ones at the driver's seat, but instead, it's going to be them at least getting some ward vision. They're trying to bait it out, and they've got the stun, so they might go for more.
Karma a little too far forward. Doesn't take too much damage, though, for it, as Sleet is... They're just faking this Gold Fury pull the best they can, trying to get AG Legion coming, but they're not quite falling for it, playing as safe as possible, as Walters comes up and decides to de-ward on the Gold Fury, but now instead, AG Legion got a little more aggressive as they saw Sleet, who decides he's just going to run away, which is the smart choice in that situation. Now, Moon, over in this dual lane's got to be a little careful. Multiple members of AG Legion are here. Purple buff, for the 3rd time, is stripped away, and oh no, Tycho Drums used. So it's space of time, though, so AG Legion decide they're coming through. Walters goes through last, but this is just crazy. Ultimates are being thrown around for absolutely nothing right now.
Looks like, though, that AG Legion's heading back over to the Gold Fury. Everybody's been spread out. Tycho Drums are down as well. They do have the snipes from the ROM if they're able to get over there, but I don't think they even know what's happening. AG Legion get away for free with the Gold Fury at 14 minutes, and that's a great look for them. They're sitting at a 2,000 gold lead at this point, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Unfortunate for X, the D-ward happened and no one decided to deal with it at any point, so Legion had only advantage through vision over at the Gold Fury. And unfortunately for X, that means they're now falling behind slowly. Moon yet again trying to back in the middle of his lane, but Crow said, no, stop it, get back to your side of the map. We don't appreciate those things here. And now, AG Legion may be trying to get this Power Mantra started soon, as Karma was looking with Tekio, but with no one else there, not possible to do yet. Full difference now. 3,300 up for AG Legion. XP, 4,600. So they have their slight level leads for now. The gold leads about 600 per average. So with this, it's at best a tier 2 item.
Yeah, I'd say so, at about that level, but the big difference here is that this is the point in the game, especially for the supports, that's going to be mattering a lot, because they still haven't hit level 12, and getting those second relics online is really key for supports, because getting those team fighting relics online can really change the tide of a fight, and actually, Walters is getting completely bodied out here by Saugen, and the fight is making its way downtown as everyone's rotating over.
Link comes in from Bubbles, who cleans up Walters, finishes him out. The Rivers comes through to keep Penguin there, who did go into Lurking Waters, and it is good enough to get him out, slowing the other members of X. Sleet tried, But unfortunately, Penguin found the one hole he could escape through. The ultimate's good enough. And now the Pyro Manager is going to be started up by X. Karma is here, does have the ultimate, but Bubbles is going to go aggressive. Space and Time comes through and almost deletes Sleet. Now Bubbles trying to keep Karma off, who does decide to use ultimate on Sagan, but Tycho Drums comes out onto Karma. Not a lot of damage at all. Sagan's going to have to be the running away because Karma, even though he's only level 12, didn't take much from Waffles at all.
Tekio, nice juke through the wall. They're being able to use the portal to his advantage, and a great dash there from Saugen to get him away from the pluck, but that may or may not just open them up to going back to the Pyromancer. But with all the farms starting up on the board, it looks like they'd rather do that, and honestly, I'm not too mad about that. I think that them going for all this farm that's just respawned is a good look for them to continue their lead, and over here in the duo lane, these ADCs are going back and forth, and no one's fallen down yet, but Moon is 2 levels behind, which is not good for this Rom. He needs to start getting these purples because it seems like they've been stolen away on cooldown from him.
Yeah, this is now the 4th or 5th time that purple buff has been stolen away from him. And really, it seems like there's been a little bit of a lack of vision. We see there's the one ward, but it only will give you so much for so long. And it almost seems like Legion's been good about doing it either while they're grouped or when there's no ward there at all. So it's kind of hard to tell when they're actually stealing it away, especially if there's waves in lane.
I mean, Jingwei does actually have pretty decent clear once she gets to the point where she's starting to build up that crit, but actually not going to crit this game. Looks like she's going for the Chinsai instead, which I don't hate. You got that inherent crit from your explosive bolt, so don't mind that. You're up against 2 very tanky Guardians, so that's going to work out for sure come the late game. And Rom actually is going to be going for the crit despite also being up against 2 Guardians, but the thing is that Rage doesn't have any stacks on it, and of course Rage is a great item, but that's if you get it stacked, and so far it hasn't been a good look for him to get it there.
Speaking of not good looks, Bubbles is in a really bad situation as members of Legion come through. He does use the ultimate, get out. Fear No Evil is dropped, but only manages to fall on Sleet. However, the Whirlwind of Steel does come through. Only pulling Sleet back. Waffles having to burn the beads, and Sleet finally falls to Karma, but Sagan is here trying to disrupt this and cause some more chaos. Does use the ultimate to pull 3 back. Penguin is alone on this backline, but no one's paying attention as Moon long distance snipes Walters out, and now Penguin is trying to save Karma. It's under half health. Members of X are chasing, but unfortunately Lurking Water slowing them down just enough. Moon has to pop the Aegis to get away, and Crow showing up on the other end. Sagan's going to be the only one who continues chasing out, but members of AG Legion instead are going back to lane or backing. So now Crow is just going to take full advantage of this, push this mid lane, and that is a full wave and a half in this tower. Someone from X needs to get here. This is going to be a lot of damage.
Thankfully, Mama Bubbles is here to clear this one out, and with Gold Fury coming up soon, they've just been ignoring the Pyromancer for the most part in thus far, but this next Gold Fury is going to be an Oni Fury, which could actually make a lot of chaos across the map. You can see that there are a ton of towers that are very damaged, and actually on the left-hand side, Crow managed to take down that tier 1 already, so getting some solid damage on the tier 2 tower, if they're able to claim that Oni Fury, could be such a good look for these guys of AG Legion, and with it spawning now, the grouping up has started, and everyone's on their way over.
X needs to be a little bit careful, though. Crow is already level 20. He's got a minimum of a 2-level lead, and that's on their ADC. Everyone else is 3 to 4 levels behind, at least for X. So Crow could be the one who causes a lot of problems for them, but Karma whiffs on the ultimate, no one in range. And this is unfortunate because now Bubbles on the back end goes after Waltz. Fear No Evil is used, leaps away, but Arrow Waffles gets the snipe with the abilities. Walters falls. Moon trying to use the snipe, doesn't get a lot of damage off. However, Tekio in the back is low, space and time used, manages to hit a couple, but not a lot coming from it. So this Oni Fury is going to be pulled by X. However, Karma and Crow are both here, and Sleek's going to do what he can to stop them. But Bubbles goes in on Crow with the ultimate in the back line. However, Crow ults to finish off Bubbles. X still secures the Oni, but they may find themselves in trouble now with members of Legion pushing forward.
Moon does end up getting that kill, but Crow comes around the back to pick up one. He's going to get sniped out for a double kill for the round, but Tekio almost takes down Moon in return, and Waffles is the one to put him down. And meanwhile, the chase is on the backhand side. We've got the blink from the Sobek trying to get something to happen here, but the slow from the Raiju is just too good, and Waffles gets away scot-free. Not only that, but they've got the Oni Fury on their side, and those minions are pushing.
Overall, that fight, Oni Fury goes to X. 4 kills goes to X. And only 2 members fall to give AG Legion 2 kills. Unfortunate for them, it seemed like they had the advantage with Crow at levels. But X just played that Oni Fury so well. And now Oni minions are taking towers away. And no one from AG Legion is nearby outside of the mid lane. Tier 1 in solo falls. Tier 1 in duo may fall. Actually, that one regular minion wave is holding out that Oni for a really long time, surprisingly.
They've got a wave and a half here pushing at this tower, and Jingwei does have rapid reincarnation, but instead of going over there, it looks like the grouping is going to be on this right-hand side. They might want to try and fight here, because if they get kills, they could go for this fire giant, but instead, everyone's piling on a penguin as he gets super low, forced into lurking in the waters, and down he goes.
Moon cleans up Penguin, but now Karma tries throwing members back. Crow uses the ult aggressively, but Moon's up in the sky, forces Aegis. Crow's walking away, trying to get out the best he can. However, Bubbles hits the root just in time. Crow doesn't get to go anywhere. Soggin cleans it up, and now AG Legion have to be careful. They lost their solo and their ADC, and now the jungler's in trouble. Nearly killed Sleet, but the Pyromancer still goes the way of X. Moon cleans up the hood and bots. Now, only Tekio and Karma are here. Tekio manages to get out with the portal, and Karma's going to have to walk away. Members of X, they could look to do Fire Giant, but not all of them are healthy, so a couple are going to decide to come back, and they may take this tier 1 before deciding to do any more objectives.
That was such a one-sided fight from X. I'm honestly super shocked that the game has been going this way, because we saw how definitive it seemed in Legion's favor in the early game. You can see in the graph that the only team that had a lead at all really in the first 20 or so minutes in the game was Legion, and then all of a sudden they bring out this amazing team fight, and they've just been popping off since.
It seems like that Oni Fury fight, them getting 4 members picked off, just staggered completely, seems to have put them back into the ones holding the reins on this one. So now doing the Fire Giant is X, but Karma's here on the back end, and he's waiting it out. Frenzy is popped, though, so this is going to start burning faster. Karma's here.
No way!
Nailed it, and now X has to fight to take it back away from them, or just to survive. Penguin kills Arrow Waffles on the back line. Moon tries to get it, but Bubbles instead secures with his ult, and now Crow is on Sog and has to use the ult to get away. Walter's caught in between, but leaps out. Tekio is going to provide some damage to try and push them off. And now AG Legion, 4 members alive with the stolen Fire Giant.
Honestly, that trade for Penguin for Arrow Waffles was a pretty good one. I'd say taking down the Raijin at a time that you've got to run away is a really good one, because he's one of the carries that will be doing a ton of damage to these towers, and Tekio's getting a little frisky here. He's jumping onto a tower where there's 3 members, and that's coming down right away. But here comes the Fear No Evil doing some solid damage, but it's coming straight back to him.
Oh my god, the crit coming from Moon just destroys Walters. Bubbles cleans it up. But he does fall to Crow on the last range shot. Soggin using Thorns just to do something, but it is not affecting Crow at all. Lifesteal too good. Sleet's having to run away. And this Fire Giant 3-member squad is going to take this tier 1 down. Whether or not they can get this tier 2 is another story. Waffles is here on the corner, but he does not have help. So it looks like it will in fact go down. Minions are there. Protection's gone. Tier 2 with mid lane falls. 3 towers left for both teams. However, all tier 2s are down in mid for X. AG only have all tier 2s left.
That Fire Giant steal really makes a difference here. As you can see, these graphs went straight up and then straight back down. This is what happens when you drop that Fire Giant. They just didn't have any solid secure because everyone else was trying to get zoned away. And that's just what happens when you let a Xing Chen walk straight at you during a Fire Giant. You gotta have some kind of secure, and unfortunately, the team come from X just does not have that.
It's amazing how we were just talking about how well X was doing, and all of a sudden, here comes AG Legion with a steal and just turn everything around. So now, this game's back to being even. outside of the one structure advantage AG Legion has, Primal Fury does look like it's going to fall for X. Does matter of fact in time. Moon's attack speed and damage more than enough to make sure AG Legion cannot get there in time. AG Legion looking like they're grouping towards this dual lane, going to go for this tier 2. What do X need to do here to really make sure they can take this push away and just get their advantage back?
I'm surprised they're not actually fighting this. They've got 3 members with Fire Giant on the side of Legion, so that's honestly a pretty even fight. It's only on one of the front lines too, so they could have taken this fight here, but instead they're going to let them push here and defend at the Phoenix. I like the idea, but Saugon's actually got to get back because he may not make it in time, considering he's only backing right now. If they recognize this and push immediately, they could get this Phoenix for free, but it looks like that's not going to be the case as they're dawdling a little bit.
It does look like Legion is waiting for minions to show up to be able to push in. May not have recognized that Saugon wasn't going to be back there that quickly. So now instead, they're going to go over for the solo lane tier 2, trying to apply pressure there. But X is kind of following right behind them, and they may be trying to catch them out, pushing up towards the Phoenix. But it doesn't look like Legion's even going to get the chance to do that. But that tower did take a bit of time to fall, surprisingly, with how fast the dual lane one fell. So now Legion is going to back up, try and force minions forward, but at the same time, this is going to allow X to completely push out.
They do have time to push out, but there's of course only 15 seconds left on the Fire Giant, so good on them to recognize that and slow it down just a little bit. Of course, you know, you'd rather keep your foot on the gas and go for it, but at the same time, with the game as even as it is, it's not a great idea to push into a team that's got such solid defense, especially when you've got things like Watery Grave and those giant walls of water that can really zone you out. But speaking of getting zoned, Saugon's trying to make room for his team to come in, but it's not really working out for him, and instead it's going to force out 3 whole ultimates from the side of X, and those are some ultimates they're not going to have back for a long amount of time.
Space and time does come through from Tekio, and it looks like Legion are going to take these portals to try and get Moon. He is caught out completely. However, Sleet's there with the waters. Leap over from Walters. Fear no evil as well. Moon falls, but he trades with the Hun bots, and now Sleet is in trouble between 3 crows. Going to use the ultimate aggressively, even though he fell below half health. Bubbles does a ton of damage to Tekio, and now Karma is all alone.
They've got to be careful because they can see him over the wall, and here comes the Thunder Crash, and Arrow Waffles takes down Crow. Now it's up to see if we can see Illicit Sleet go for another kill, but instead they're going to back up because they're pretty content getting 2 out of the 3 carries from AG Legion down, and that boulder over on the right-hand side means the Fire Giant has spawned once more, but with both teams having their carries down, I don't think either one's going to go for it right away.
I feel like Saugon there somehow managed to hear you say, hit the gas pedal and took it as I need to W key here. As he just went full on towards a tier 2 chasing Penguin running into 3 members, and somehow he manages to bring them back to X. Even though they're the ones in trouble, they still get the kill advantage out of it.
Yeah, I honestly just couldn't tell you how that one happened, but at the same time, they're pretty happy it did because now they've got the posturing around the Fire Giant, and we're about at the point where it's about to transform into the EFG, and now that we're basically there, it's going to be pretty dangerous because all 3 Phoenixes are exposed for X, so should that Fire Giant go to Legion, those guys are going down pretty much immediately, especially since the Jingwei has gone into the more pen-oriented build.
Yes, now both teams have a frenzy. However, the only Primal Fury that spawned this game did go the way of X for free, so they do have the damage numbers advantage on the Fire Giant over Legion. But it's not going to come down. It's going to come down this team fight. That Sleet's going to start by trapping Penguin, who goes into the lurking waters, takes a bit of damage from Waffles. Space in time comes out from Tekio, hitting no one, and now Saugon is in the backline completely for free. Frenzy is popped. They wanted to leap Penguin as fast as they can, but Saugon solos Crow, and 3 people. Bubbles comes and cleans up Tekio. Moon on the back end cleans up Penguin. Walters and Karma are walking away. They do not want to fall and give advantage to X any more than they already have. What a quick fight.
I just genuinely am in shock. I was originally thinking, okay, this is not very smart from the Kuzenbo. He's walking into 5 members, but his secret plan was popping the thorns, popping the shell spikes, and just making sure that that Jingwei was going to return all of those highly damaging autos straight back in her face, and that just made a nice pathway for Big Mama Bubbles to hop in there and take down some more himself. So that was 3 for free. And now they've got the EFG at their hands. 3 towers to take down, but they honestly could go straight for a Phoenix here and not even really care. It's 5v2 at this point in time. They've got 10 seconds on the closest respawn.
And it looks like they are going to go for this solo side Phoenix. Karma, the only one here. So Saga's just going to press at him, popping his own reflect from his kit. So Karma walks away from that. But now, all members of AG Legion are up. Actually, going to have to be a little bit careful. They do have EFG, but they still don't want to get caught out recklessly. Sagan's going to do everything he can to zone away Legion from going towards this tier 2, who they shouldn't even try to contest anyways. So now, X, I'm guessing they're going to go for this Oni Fury here, and then regroup, maybe push the tier 2, but I expected them to just back, spend their gold, and then push it down.
Honestly, they could. They could send a couple members back now, let only a few of them do this Oni Fury, and then make a nice little regroup over on the left-hand side, push up with the Oni waves, and let the waves on the right-hand side that are fire minions push in there, making the enemy team spread out. They've got a lot of really good options at this point because, like we said, they've been able to get really all of the checkboxes that you need. Get the Oni Fury, get the EFG, take down a couple of members at the Fire Giant, and they've got all 5 members, 2 red buffs, and all ultimates available. If that's not a W key incoming, I don't know what is.
Yes, we are now 32, almost 33 minutes into this game. X has 0 structures left outside of the Phoenixes. AG Legion has 1 tier 2, 2 Phoenixes up. Gold difference is around 5k. Kills 19-12 in favor of X. And this enhanced Fire Giant is still up for another minute and a half, roughly. So, with this, we see X are going to go over to this dual lane and decide to push this tier 2 down. Members of AG Legion are up aggressively. One of them being the Hun boss with his free no evil, but making the wise decision to leap away, go back to his team, not risk getting caught out and dying recklessly. So now this tier 2 is going to fall for free. And we're just going to have to see what X decide to do. They do have the Fire Oni in right, and no one is there to clean it up. They're more worried about the mid lane right now. And in the dual lane, this Phoenix is being grouped in front of. It almost looked like they were going to send Bubbles to mid lane, which he probably should do. He could solo Tekio if he really wanted. But Fire Oni is starting to push into the Phoenix in right lane. X are using this now to go aggressive. Sleep throws up the ultimate, and now members are having to scatter. If Fear No Evil does come through, Waffles ends up dying because of Penguin off of that. But Walters is going to pay the price as well. Sagan having to use ultimate to keep that one cleaned up. Tekio nearly deleting Moon, but the Aegis is too good. The dashes away. Oni Fire minions are on the Titan right now. Members of Legion are going to have to back take care of this. Sagan was trying to keep the attention the best he could, but members make it back in time. Instead, Tekio and Crow able to get back. So, with that, X do manage to get the Phoenix, lose Waffles for it, but the Titan is nearly at half health.
Yeah, if I'm Waffles right now, I'm laughing in my grave saying, oh, you fools, you took me down, but look at your Titan. You let those Oni Fire minions come straight into your base without a fight, and that's exactly the kind of damage that Oni minions plus Fire minions can do. They're sending Tekio over here to deal with them now, but I honestly think it was a huge mistake there, just trying to fight them off. Honestly, I would have just given up the Phoenix for free because, yes, you did get Waffles, but you also lost a lot of health in your Titan. And of course, it really sucks to lose a Phoenix, but it sucks even more to lose your Titan because that means you lose the game.
Yeah, now learn me, one thing I am surprised about was Bubbles didn't rotate to mid when Tekio was out. It really seemed like he was going to start, but he pulled right back over to the dual lane Phoenix instead. And honestly, I would have liked to see him just go straight on Tekio because I think, you know, if he just damages Tekio enough to force him back to Fountain, that Phoenix may have gone cleaner to where Waffles doesn't fall.
Could have been, but at the same time, they didn't really have a whole lot of time on their Fire Giants, so I don't think that they were necessarily mad about that, but Fear No Evil forced out here as the waves come through. What a great wall there. It stops the monkey from even getting away. No portal's going to save you now. And meanwhile, Fire Giant's up in 30 seconds, and that means the monkey's going to be out of commission for it.
Yes, this minute respawn timer means Walters will be up with 20 seconds left after the Fire Giant falls, approximately. So, X are going to take this free time to just position around. Sagan going to go up towards the Soul Link, create a little bit of a distraction, try and make sure Legion knows, hey, I'm up here, don't try it. because especially with what happened earlier, I don't think Crow wants to be anywhere near him right now.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got a scar from all of the damage those thorns did to him. And there they go, popped one more time, and Crow says, all right, I saw you. We don't need to do this again, but I'm okay, I swear.
Oh my goodness, Crow going down to a quarter health left. Sagan has 3 members of Legion on him, and he is dancing around like it's nothing. Oh my... Oh, the Fire Giant regen is coming through as well, and it is enhanced, so now it's even harder for Legion to damage him. And what a dance he just pulled off.
Sleet's gonna be the first one in, but Blink in from Bubble's gonna force Tekio away with barely an HP to his name. Nice job by Tekio getting out there, but it doesn't really matter, because now on the backhand side, that Sobek is stuck, but here comes the Girdle, and the fight's about to break loose.
Space and time was used. Sagan takes a little bit of damage from it, but Tycho Drum's coming out, trying to secure the kill. Does not happen. Moon just out of range. Penguin got in time. Fear No Evil comes through. Moon is finding himself in trouble. Gets deleted by Walters. And now members of X may be in trouble. However, Sagan does use the ultimate to stop this attack. But this one Bots wants to chase. But in the end, looks like he's going to kind of just dance back and forth, deciding it may not really be worth it. So in the end, Phoenix does fall again. But this time, Moon falls for it. And that hurts X pretty badly, considering that's their ADC.
It definitely does, because this is not a good time to fall. That left-hand side Phoenix is spawning relatively soon. Gold Fury's up as well, so they might be able to get at least something out of that ADC falling. They could at least push these guys up and do it for basically free, because the ADC's not there to be swinging on the Phoenix as it respawns. At this point, X have really got to be a little more careful at keeping their backline alive if they want to be able to break the base in total and end the game.
Yeah, not too much anti-heal looks like in the game. We see Divine Ruin on Waffles. And for AG Legion, it is Divine Ruin and Brawler's Beat Stick as well. So, there's not too much that both teams have to worry about. However, Bubbles, relatively free heal unless he's got Walters or Tekio on him. So now, this really is going to come down to more who groups better for this next fight. Primal Fury is being pulled by X here. Do you like this, or do you think they should have just let it go and tried for this weak Phoenix on the left side?
I mean, the only reason I'm kind of mad about it is because they're kind of wasting time here that they've got this EFG. They should have really been doing that while Moon was dead, and now that they're all grouped up together, they're ready to go for this Phoenix, and honestly, this one could be it. This could be the last fight of this game, considering especially that there's only this weakened Phoenix and then the middle Phoenix left to go, and the Titan is still at half health because the 3 Phoenixes have yet to be up at the same time so it can heal.
In goes Sagan, trying to lead this for X. However, Rage of Steel was used on the backline, so not a lot of going on the Phoenix. However, Waffles does clean up Walters. Fear No Evil did make it down, though. Bubbles picks up Crow on the back, and Space and Time was used. Does not connect, though, and now Penguin trapped in a rock and a hard place, and he manages to dash away after a little separation, but he only finds himself put in front of Bubbles, who cleans him up. And now with 2 members up, this Titan is finally going down. Moon goes in the air, puts one on it, ends game 1 between X and AG Legion. 39.5 minutes. And Lermy, that last 15 minutes was just so much fighting back and forth. There was a few times the lead changed hands, but X, it seemed like after that Oni Fury, and sure, they let a Fire Giant steal happen, but they didn't really lose anything afterwards. And then the next Fire Giant, they just destroyed Legion quickly. 3 members falling. I mean, it seemed like there wasn't much else that could happen.
Not one bit. It just really came down to who team fought better, and that was all X, baby. From minute 1, you would have thought that wouldn't have been the case. They ended up falling down a little bit early, but they really pulled that back come the late game.
All right, so what are you looking for game 2 from Legion to take this one back?
I've got to see a little more aggression coming out from the mid jungle. They did a good job in the early game at finding some picks, but the biggest issue was that it didn't really seem like there was a whole lot of synergy.
All right, and with that, that is game 1 of the NA Albion Division Finals. We will be back here shortly after a quick break.
C Money, that was quite a game one. A lot of back and forth. You know, Legion, they started out kind of a little on the strong side to begin with, the first about 5 or 10 minutes, and then from there, it just seemed like it was back and forth until X eventually took a lead and said, "You know what? We're gonna keep this one for a while."
Yeah, that was a really fun game one. Lots of action, lots of fighting, a lot of crazy fighting going on. But I think you're right. It kind of seemed favoring Legion a little bit early, and then once X got going, it was kind of just like a snowball effect. Like there wasn't any stopping them towards the end there, those last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, that may have been the first time I can remember X not having any sort of decent lead coming out of the first 10 minutes. So that's big props to Legion there for being able to have, even if it's just a small lead going into that, it's a big deal. But, you know, this Kuzumbo, I think that Kuzumbo was a big problem for Legion. I don't think they had a way to deal with it.
Kuzumbo was such a massive problem for this game. I mean, if you look at the stats, I think the man ended up with almost 37,000 damage, like top damage in the game. Mile. He was an issue. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a target ban at that this next game just because of how big of a problem that Kuzumbo was.
Yeah, we could be seeing that come up, but, you know, I also think that X did a good job of keeping Tekio a little quiet as well.
Yeah, it was a very odd game to see out of Tekio. It's not necessarily that he played poorly or anything, but a lot of these games that we watch Legion play, I don't want to say he carries, but he usually is just one of the most impactful players in the game, no matter what match it is. And X really did a fantastic job of kind of shutting him down a little bit this game, which is a little bit surprising. He's a very hard player to shut down like that. He just wasn't as impactful as he normally is.
Yeah, we will see if that Kuzumbo does end up getting banned away, or we'll see how the first phase picks are differed, as we do see now that the first overall ban coming out from X, they don't want to let that Humbots go through again, C Money.
We saw it go to the second phase last game, and we were both kind of surprised about that. But you see it immediately banned out here. Not really surprising to see, honestly.
No, not at all. Not it's kind of one of those things. Oh yeah, we let Hunbots through, and then Monkey or Jam Walters, as you see on your screen, did a pretty phenomenal job with it as well. So once again, the Zhang Kui going to be the first ban for Legion. We touched on that last time, but once again, Merlin. You mentioned earlier you can't give that god to Tekio on the other side, but they did keep him quiet. Are you still surprised they get rid of the Merlin still?
No, because even if you kept him quiet game one, I'm not taking my chances on keeping him quiet 2 games in a row. Especially if you gave him a god like Merlin, that'd be very difficult to do. I wouldn't even touch that if I was X. So that's a good ban.
Last game we were talking about the Penguin likes this Jormungandr, and you mentioned maybe it was a comp-dependent thing. They were not really looking to play into Jormungandr, but they opt to ban it away again here. Do you think it's still possibly the same reasoning?
Yorm's really hard to play into, and you see they have second pick here. And you saw how much that man popped off with the Kuzumbo. So they might just not want to give him the chance to draft it, because Yorm can be a problem in the right hand. So even though it is a comfort pick for Penguin, I'm not terribly surprised to see that, because they don't want to let them have it either.
Thor one more time going to be taken away. Walters won't be able to play it again for this game too. And Nike one more time for Legion, going to ban that. So the same first 3 for Legion, and just the change up of the Hanbots for the X here. And I don't remember what they first banned in the game 1, but I do remember what they first picked, and they pick it once more time. The Emoja going to be locked in for Sleet again.
Yeah, I'm really surprised to see that. He played it really well. That ult is very impactful in fights and stuff, as we did see kind of in the first game. So not really a big surprise there if they gave it to him again.
Not at all, but a little bit of surprise here, I would say. Scylla being the first overall pick for Legion. Now, last time they waited till the very last pick where they picked up a Giannis, and with Ryzen still being open, Ryzen's really good into Scylla, I feel. Why do you think they pick it here? And of course, they're going to pick the Jing Chen one more time, likely for support.
That's a little bit of an odd pick to me, especially you see Raijin and Disco available, arguably 2 better gods. Tekio is very good at Scylla. He played it against us and destroyed us with it, so they may have just wanted to get him on a pick that they know he can kind of carry from a little bit, because they did do a good job of keeping him quiet in game 1. But I am a little bit surprised to see the Scylla over something like a Raijin or a Discordia, but it is a really good pick for him, so we'll see how it works for him.
Yeah, we shall see. He did do a great job against you guys with the pick, but Poseidon going to be the immediate counter response to the Scylla, and Robin going to be picked up one more time for Bubbles. Not surprised there. I don't know that there's been a game that Bubbles has played that has gone poorly for their Robin. It just for them to get this again at this spot, I don't know. It's if it's available, why wouldn't you just want to pick it up?
Yeah, I am a little surprised they let them get the Raven again. At least it is a big comfort pick. The Poseidon is a definite kind of counter into Scylla. You drop that Whirlpool and Scylla can no longer dash away, which is one of the strengths of Scylla. So I do like this Poseidon pick going to Waffles a lot into a Scylla.
Definitely. One of the underrated things, too, is if she's targeting that on the monster, you can just crack it on top of her as well. It's just you didn't have to have any setup for it outside of Scylla just sitting in one place. No surprise once again. What is? Can you tell me what Crow plays outside of Jingwei?
Jingwei. If you give the man Jingwei, he's going to play Jingwei every game. He does have a good Uller. But 9 times out of 10, if Jingwei is open, you're going to see Crow pick the Jingwei. So that's not a big surprise there. He's very good at Jingwei. We did see the duo lanes between him and Moon be pretty even last game. So, if it's there, you might as well give it to him.
You're right. And actually, you're right. Uller was the first ban overall last time. I guess it was more targeted towards we don't want to play against this pressure pick. And now, once again, the Jingwei picked up, so guarantees the safety one more time. And looking like a later game comp here for Legion. They're going to opt the first ban to Sobek, and they actually picked up Sobek first last game with the Jing Chen in the first phase. So it tells me they weren't looking to take it more than giving it to the other side. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit of a surprising ban to me, but if they don't want to play it again, I mean, I also never want to go against a Sobek. It's not a fun god to go against. And so, I mean, if they didn't want to play it this time, I'm not really surprised to see the ban.
Dodgy going to be the next ban away, and that's next to Robin is probably the best pick into non-CC Ultimate gods like Poseidon, like Yamoja. Terra also comes to mind, Ganesh as well. Those types of gods usually struggle into a Dodgy, so I think that was a smart ban away from X here. Last ban for Legion, gonna be the Kuzubo, the big problem maker. I think you mentioned 37,000 damage last time around.
Yeah, right around that. So no surprise to see that ban here, especially in the second phase when X still needs a solo laner. So I'm not real surprised to see that Kuzenbo ban after the work he put in.
Absolutely. Bakasura final ban, wasn't picked or banned last game. What can you tell me about Bakasura here? I don't think I've seen Monkey play it at all this split.
I don't know if I've seen him play it either, so that's a little bit of a weird ban to me. However, Baka can be a very annoying god with, you know, kind of the golden blade and everything. I mean, he is very good right now, but I haven't seen Monkey play that, so I'm a little surprised to see that ban.
I'm a little surprised, but I'm not surprised to see him pick up Pele here. Definitely been one of their go-tos this season. Can you talk about the Pele a little bit and what it brings to the comp?
Pele has a very strong level 5, as she can just kind of ult the Poseidon and kill him. And I mean, Pele's just a very all-around solid god. Like, I don't know if it's always kind of been that way. Like, I don't remember a time where Pele has been just awful since her release. So, I mean, it's a great pick in a lot of comps.
Seems to be that way as the final picks for X this time around. Going to be the Chernobog in the hands of Speechless Moon, and Osiris going to be the pickup here. Now that's interesting. Usually you want to pick an Osiris into something that can block you away like the Emoja. So they're taking away that option here, thinking that the Xingqian is definitely going to support. However, it's not, because the last pick of the match is going to be Ganesh, which almost always has to be in that support type of role.
Yeah, you're not going to see Ganesh go anywhere else. I'm going to be real interested to see Moon pilot this Chernobog, because I was on a team with Moon last season, and I was always the one playing the Chernobog, so I've never actually seen Moon play it, so I'm actually excited to see this and see how he does on that. I love the god. I love the ult. So I'm actually excited to see Cherno come here in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. So are we going to get to see a game 3 tonight like we have the rest of the week, or is this going to be 2 games and done for X here? What do you think?
I really hope we see a game 3. I like Legion's draft better all around, I think. However, I don't know how I feel about the Scylla first pick, because they were able to just directly counter it with that Poseidon. So that'll be an interesting matchup to see how that turns out this game, since they were able to kind of get that direct counter. But I really do like Legion's draft this game.
That sounds great to me. And just a quick break, and we will get you into this game 2. Remember, they're playing for a share of either 12,000 or 6,000 gems. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 2 of the AGL and Albion Division Finals X versus AG Legion. Yet again, I'm TIH Vengeance, joined by Lermy, Wormy, and Lermy. We saw some interesting things in picks and bans. Yamoja let through again for X to pick up, and then a Scylla first pick.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, Chief. I know coming from me, I love Scylla. She's a very fun character. The first pick leaves her open to a lot of counter picks, and that's exactly what X have done. I love their draft so far, and that's not really to say that I don't love Legion's draft. Overall, it's pretty strong. They've got a lot of setup for the Scylla, but when you're looking at it, there's not a lot of early game potential here. Really, the only character that does well in the early game is the Pele, and she doesn't even really do better than the Robin. So my biggest concern here for Legion is, are they going to make it through this early game? They've got bullies to deal with in every single lane, and that's my big concern here.
Yeah, one thing I want to emphasize that Desk was talking about was Scylla's ultimate. Robin is one of those gods who specializes against mages that can't move, so when we see Scylla ult, I wouldn't be surprised to see Robin on top, but over in duo lane, Karma is already dead within the first minute. Moon and Sleet just W-keying. Crow may fall here as well. It makes it around the corner in time. We look away for 1 second, and
they're already gone. I mean, this is just what happens when you're up against a Yamoja. For some reason, man, there was just no respect on this character. We've talked about her a ton. She is still very strong, and yet they let the character through that can throw out 4 abilities at level 1. I mean, it's a choice for sure. If they're going to make that choice, they've got to play like they mean that choice, and so far it hasn't been showing that way.
Honestly surprised this Yamoja was let through after game 1. Sleet did a really good job of picking his walls and just trapping people and just disrupting fights. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, that first blood is because Yamoja was allowed, and now second blood's gonna come through for Waffles because Walters, he goes in and gets whirlpooled. So you're fast, you get fast movement speed, but it doesn't mean anything when you can't move.
Gosh, it's so dirty, that combo between the Poseidon and the Robin. Throw down the Whirlpool, Pele's got no dash, put the root on top, and she's stuck in there for what seems like ever. And honestly, just those two together have been doing a great job this game, but Sleep's the one in trouble here. Great stun is going to keep him away, but Penguin actually solos out Salgan while that's all happening. But back to duo as they're still chasing down Crow.
Crow falls low. Health pots, though, are ticking away, so he's going to heal up some. Tekio was looking for a rotate with his damage buff. But X was already falling back, so not much he can do there. One thing I want to talk about is this Poseidon, because we were kind of talking about it early on against Scylla. The fact that he got the kill. How much does this hurt Tekio?
It's gonna be an issue because Poseidon basically lives to hit level 5, and once he's got that level 5, he's gonna drop the Whirlpool Kraken on whoever is closest, and that's probably gonna be Tekio. And I mean, Tekio does have the beads, but the question is, will he be able to get the Sentinel off in time to get out of it? And here is the level 5 Kraken comes out, forces the beads from Tekio. Not gonna get the kill, but those are an important pair of relics that were just taken away. No, not having those beads leaves her open to being able to get taken out there later.
Yeah, no, I think Waffles is fine with that Kraken. It did hit, but because the beats was burned, it wasn't in the center. However, they have a Robin, and he's got CC, so Tekio's gonna have to be very careful, as you said, coming out from now on. In this dual lane from X, they gave up a little bit of pressure to go camp farming, but at the end of the day, Moon's getting the solo farm. He's going to hit 5 here shortly, especially after getting the kill early. This could be a problem for Legion because his ultimate allows him to go wherever he wants. That's going to guarantee some kills.
You'd sure hope so. I mean, that's kind of why you pick Chernobog. It's kind of like Apollo used to be, where he would be the one making the early rotations. But now that Chernobog exists, I mean, who wouldn't want to do the same exact thing but spend no mana and get some nice damage mitigations on the way down? I mean, that's a free W for them if they ever show up to a fight where someone's either low or they just have the number advantage there. So being able to at least use that ability to make it even is always important.
Now, one thing I want to talk about is the solo kill in Soul Lane did happen in favor of Penguin against the Osiris. Is that going to show signs of anything troubling for Sagan, or is it once he gets Glad Shield, who really cares?
It really depends. I think once he gets Glad Shield, it certainly will be a lot better for Sagan, but the issue is if he can't keep up the pressure, it's going to be a big issue, but both ultimates traded out there. Sagan does have the form here where he can use those auto attacks in a Fatalis-like manner, but Walters is here as well, so he's got to be cautious that the blue buff has just been done. Mount Bubble shows up for a second, but she's got to walk away, and there goes another Kraken, unfortunately off the mark, so Tekio goes out with barely a scratch.
And beads were not up, so unfortunate missed opportunity for Waffles. Oracle's done by AG Legion as well, so vision advantage on gold free for them. Bubbles looks like he did secure both neutral harpies, and Waffles wanted to get a little aggressive, but only does the whirlpool, and so members of AG Legion just walk right by, no issues at all. And Sleet, though, coming around this back end, maybe looking to cause trouble. Not going to be able to do anything, though, as the Pele just uses movement speed to get further up. Moon has pressure in this duel, and those 6 against level 5 Jingwei, and it looks like they're going to try and strip the purple buff away from Crow. A little different from what we saw last game.
They've got to be careful, though, because here come 4 members of Legion. Still ult is pop, does actually hit Sleet, and he might be in trouble here as he's stuck in the Ganesh ult. 1-for-1 trade so far as the ADC gets taken down for the support. And I'd say even though Crow did lose his buff, that's still a gigantic win for X. They got the buff, and they traded for their ADC.
Yeah, X buff, they kill Crow. Sleet's the only one to fall. Use a couple ultimates in there as well. AG Legion did so too. But Penguin now running away from Sagan's tether. That just one of the more annoying abilities that Osiris has. It gives him mitigation protections, but also just if you stop someone with that, Osiris can just start shredding you apart.
For sure. He can be a very dangerous lane bully, but the fact that Penguin is doing such a great job at maintaining that would have been good, but here goes Waffle with the rotation. Kraken comes out, and he just takes a spill immediately, and that is the power of a Poseidon. Once you've got that Kraken online, that's a pretty free kill for anyone who can't get out of it, but unfortunately there, that back actually caused Sagan to lose his blue buff, so it's going to be 1 blue buff for 1 life, and I'm sure Penguin isn't too mad about that. He did eat the Kraken, which means that might open up a fight in mid.
Yeah, and Tekio's beads are back up. X never really taking advantage of that, so with this Kraken down, it's going to be a little hard just to try and secure the Scylla mid laner, but I'm sure X have their little plans in mind anyway. Oracles have not come back up yet, so there's just a little Gold Fury vision lacking. But based off last game, it's not really too much concern outside of rotations for dual lane. Speaking of concerns, this mid lane, Sleet gets deleted as 3 members from Legion jump on, and Walters finishes that off with the Pele. The Alma Monster was used to get some more damage to help secure that one. So that is an ultimate threat that X won't have to worry about for a little bit, especially if they want to start a team fight.
I am kind of concerned though. A lot of times you see Emojis pick up beads just because they are one of the more vulnerable supports to getting completely shut down by some CC. And hold that thought for a second here. Moon actually does successfully steal away the purple, but Bubbles on the backhand side though. She's just going to back out here because that dash away from Jingwei means that there's no kill here. But back to what I was saying before, Emojis tend to pick up beads because we've been seeing in both game 1 and this game, the only time that Sleet is really ever in danger is when he gets locked down by a ton of CC. So if he had those beads, he would be able to get out of all of those alive, and that could be a good concern to think about here, especially because Moon's going to get forced up here.
Oh, Moon just getting knocked up and then deleted by the ultimate out of Crow. Deciding not to use his ultimate to try and go to any other lane, possibly get some help. But now, members of X rotating over, and Walters finds himself in a little bit of a tough spot. Blink coming from Bubbles does root him. Walters taking quite a bit of poke. Ultimate from Sleep, but the ultimate as well from Bubbles lands, but Pele ultimate used as well to dash out, and now the Dharmic Pillars used to try and secure Waffles as he gets collapsed on. Sleep trades Walters out as Tekio is now trying to get away with no mana. Moon kind of recklessly pushing here as members are around, but now it's only Karma, and he's dashing away. This, I don't know. He may not make this. It's going to be close.
Oh, nice shot over the wall there from Moon to get that kill. Turns out to be, I believe, a 2 for 2, if I'm not mistaken, there on this left-hand side. Not only that, but Purple was actually stripped away from X, which means now it's time for them to be the ones to start up here. But here comes Crow using that rapid reincarnation to get even closer, trying to get zoned out here by Bubbles as the Gold Fury is getting extremely low.
And now Tekio is here. However, they dropped it just in time. Damage isn't done. X gets it through. Crow picked it back up. And Tekio wants to get some more damage done. Does pick up Sleep. Moon on the left-hand side, trying his best to run away. But the crush, just too good. Only member to make it out is Bubbles. Gold Fury goes, but at what cost, Lermy?
I mean, that's 2 kills, red buff stolen away. It's super unfortunate that both of those kills went to Tekio too, because all of that farm that Waffles took so much care to get is now been basically evened by the fact that he actually got all of those kills. So now the mid laners, in which previously Waffles was super far ahead, has now turned into quite the even game. But check out the items here from these mid laners. Waffles has gone into that full 40+% cooldown with the Chronos Pendant, the Shoes of Focus, and the Evolved Mage's Blessing. So he's going to have Krakens up basically all the time, and check out what he's doing right now. There it is.
He does force the ultimate out of Penguin to avoid all that damage, but Sagan is here to try and help. Walters on the Pele, though, is coming through, going straight for Waffles. He does get some of the knockback, but it does not matter. The ultimate comes out, and the lightning strike just deletes. Bubbles on the back end, tries to get the ult, hits no one. I'm a Monster is active though, hits Sagan for quite a bit of damage, so he's going to go aggressive, but with Sleet here, not much of chase opportunity now. Moon ults over. Dharmic Pillars are up, trapping the 2 members, but Bubbles on the back end helps Moon take out Tekio, trades out Bubbles. Walters gets that one, and now members of Legion are trying to disengage Sleet, being a little bit more aggressive, while the rest of his team is backing off. And that was a quick skirmish. Holy cow.
Moon and Sleet are going to pick up the Pyromancer, but Walters and Karma are here. Together, they're going to try and force them out, and now that the knockup has been good into Sleet, it means that they're going to grab the kill, but X actually does secure the Pyromancer. I wouldn't say that's quite an even trade, but I'm sure glad that I walk out of that one with nothing to my name. Getting the Pyromancer is at least something.
Securing that when you're the ones who started it up, especially when it costs the life of one of your members, is very, very important. If that gold had gone the way of Legion, that could have started a lot of trouble, because that would have essentially evened out the gold, if not put them slightly ahead. Pro, though, had to use the ultimate. Blink comes through. B's used as well. Waffles wants to try and get something, but Whirlpool not going to be able to extend past the wall enough. So Crow is safe after using beats and the ult. So now X looking to secure the oracles as they do so. Waffles takes a lot of damage from that crush, and man, Tekio is looking scary with damage right now.
That is actively a ton of damage, and once that level 12 marker starts to come online for the Scylla, they're going to be getting the triple root and another stack on the quick learner passive, so that's a ton more power going straight into the Scylla's pocket. And check out the chunk there on the Sleet, who's actually going to be using up the heals, but surprise, that's a Divine Ruin coming up for the Scylla, so not enough healing really going to be there to help out all that much. And Moon once again at the enemy's tower line. This seems to be a frequent spot that he's at, so I'm surprised we haven't seen Walters head on over there more often. But with that being the case, it's now time for everyone to head on back, because we're hitting the point in the game where level 12 is on the horizon, and that means more relics all around.
Yep, Crow did not get finished backing, so instead he's going to force a wave under Moon's tower, which means he's going to lose a little bit more farm here. And he went out, did Harpies and backed?
Yeah, I mean, it's choice. I wouldn't say it's the right choice, but it was a choice that he made, and his tower is almost going to pay the price for it. It probably will live with just a couple HP to its name, but if those minions still continue to swing on it, he ended up losing that tower for it, and not sure that was worth it there, but hopefully he'll be able to get something there for all that gold he spent.
So it looks like he decided he wanted to do the Harpies to have enough gold to pick up Aussie, so that it goes well with his Transcendence, so he's not just outright dying and able to keep fighting back, but it's at the cost of a tier 1 tower, which is a very unusual choice to make, especially if you don't have anyone available to cover for you. So with that, AG Legion has found an advantage for pressure from the duo lane. And speaking of duo lane, it looks like these two may be able to try and fight here soon, but Crow's playing a little further back, just trying to get the wave clear, so nothing going to happen. Moon is going to back yet again. That's 3 times in the last minute. So hopefully he's got the worthwhile for what he's doing. Waffles,
I sure hope so. Gold Fairy's coming up.
Red buff is secured for X this time, but this is Primal Fury coming up, and Bad Karma is positioned around it just in case X decide to try and sneak it away again. But it looks like it's going to be him and possibly Crow trying to start it up here soon. Crow's going to go for the purple buff, maybe come back for it. But Tekio back in the mid lane. Sleet's the only one here. He needs to be careful. You have Penguin on the back end, and he backed off?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. If you're going to make the rotation, you would think that he was going to go all the way for it, especially since Gold Fury is now up. But instead it's going to be everyone on this left-hand side but the soul laners, and they're just trying to poke out each other as the Trinifog ultimate has been spent. Living Nightmare coming through along with the walls, putting down the Kraken right on top of this Ganesh, but he still have health. Not a whole lot of issue here for the Elephant as the shell is popped and the heals getting tossed all around.
Both sides using 3 ultimates. The only one who really took damage was Karma, as he's sitting under half health. Now, Moon took a little bit, but Karma taking this poke from Moon, finds himself nearly dead. Penguin on the back end tries to get the ultimate, does not find anyone. Bubbles actually gets Walters when he goes in, but Crow trades out Sleep. Now, Bubbles in trouble. Tekio hits that one. Now Moon a little far up with no help. Waffles through the wall manages to get something going to delay any more push on Moon, but this Fury now looks like it's free. There's no ultimates available outside of Sagan, and he's on the other side of the map. So this is going to be a rough one for X to try to steal. Waffles is here, and so is Moon, but Legion drop it at the sight of Waffles, and now Penguin out of position as a result. Moon kills him, and now X are the ones who pick up the Primal.
I would be so careful about this, though, because Ganesh is back. Ultimate is coming up soon as well. And look at all of that damage coming out of the Scylla. It looks like Moon did actually catch the agility from Crow, so he's going to get taken down, but the crush over the wall secures yet another kill for this Scylla. 4-1 and 6 in thus far. 20% cooldown and a ton of pen to boot. So currently, I am not so mad about the Scylla pick anymore.
No, Tekio's done a good job of playing this. I'm going to say that I'm a little disappointed on the side of X for not being more aggressive early on with the Robin and Poseidon combo onto Tekio. I feel like they didn't take advantage of it as well as they could have, especially within the first couple minutes of the game. I mean, level 5 was hit and Tekio's beats were gone.
Truly, they didn't really push on that too much, and that kind of just let the Scylla roam free for a little bit, and has been able to get a ton of stuff off of that. But Lincoln here from Saugen, kind of confused by all this aggression here, because Teku's gonna just kind of eyeball and walk away. I mean, sure, use the ultimate there, but for what? Now the whole team showed up, and Saugen's gonna run away.
He's doing that, but members of X are actually going on to the Primal Fury during all this, and Saugen is not taking a lot of damage. He got I'm a Monster out. He didn't get any relics, but that's fine. The ultimate is gone. There's no steal potential anymore for objectives, so X freely take a Primal Fury. He had all members of Legion rotate onto him for nothing. They barely poked him while he walked away.
That's the power of an Osiris who's been split pushing for the past minute and a half. The man's really, really tanky at this point. And honestly, I'm just not sure that AG Legion really realized that everyone else was on the Cold Fury, but check this out, around the backhand side, Kraken off the mark, but Tekia was able to get everyone away from the fight, and Illicit Sleet's got to run.
Sleet's low crushes there. It's not being popped though, so he gets to get out of it. And on the back end, Tekio's being chased by Bubbles and Moon. Will he make it out? We'll see. Moon, though, goes into the tower to secure the kill. Waffles is here. Cripple goes down, but Penguin's out of it, so he can walk away now. And on the very back end, Saugen was destroying Walters, but he manages to get away just in time. That Pyromancer could have cost a lot for X, but instead it's giving them pressure off of slight picks and damage being done. Saugen's on the back end of this tier 1 as X tries to push in. Penguin, Crow, and Karma here to try and defend. Armored Pillars comes out to push away. Crow aggressively ults. This could cause a problem. He goes back in on the tower, but as it falls, H immediately pop. No one was there to hit yet, so instead he takes damage. Waffles kills him with the Whirlpool. Now the tier 2 looks like it may be the call. All 5 members of X are up. AG Legion 1's trying to back, but he can't do it quite yet. Saugen is just W keying. And Legion while taking this tier 2. There's nothing they can do here.
All that damage mitigation on this Osiris is working out super well for them, and that was 2 free towers as well as a kill. They really did not lose a single thing for it, and that was off the back of a botched Pyromancer call, and now they just get it for free. Ultimate is up on Walters, but is he really willing to walk into 4 members that are on top of this? I mean, currently this Osiris is just a menace, zoning this entire time, and the up-down coming out of him means that Walters is going to run away. I'm not sure he wants to use the Volcanic Lightning to get out, so it really was depending on Tekio there to zone this Osiris away. But if I'm AG Legion, my eyes have got to be on Saugen right now, because he's just demanding the pressure.
Yep, and this is one of the terrifying things about Osiris, especially when left alone. He's level 17. He's even with your highest members of AG Legion, and he is tanky. The only one really doing a lot of damage to him is Tekio on Scylla, but it's hard for Tekio to focus on the tank, especially with Bubbles has been doing such a good job of getting in the back line. Man, and Walters, as you said, the question was really going to go to 4. Saugen didn't even let him have the option. He's like, nope, you're staying away from my team. And now, over by Fire Giant, just fighting over ward positioning. Oh, poor Sleet. Penguin was caught in a little bit of a trap. Sleet misses an auto, instead hits Fire Giant, so he takes a little meteor strike from him there. Now, AG Legion going to take the D ward, so Sleet wants to come back around the corner into this. Saugen, though, going on to Tekio with Crow right there. Members of AG Legion decide they're going to collapse onto him, but behind them is Sleet, and instead, oh my goodness, it doesn't matter. Saugen gets destroyed from the pen coming out. Crow finishes it up. However, the Kraken combo with the emoji comes out, and now Penguin having to use the ultimate to separate this fight further away. Bubbles on the back end cannot fight 3 successfully, so he falls to Crow. And now AG Legion has the member advantage 5-3. However, Penguin is too low. Tekio, though, I'm a monster, gets 1, misses on the second. And now Moon and Sleet are trying their best to run away. Sleet is going to stay back as best he can to try and keep them away. Moon trades out Walters for him, but it is now 3v1. Penguin still having to come back from his back. Tier 1 in mid's going to fall. Tekio goes aggressive, misses the root. Crush, juked by Moon just in time. That is a 4-for-1 trade in favor of Legion. Structures are even, kills 18-13 in favor of them. Gold, they're down 4k, and they still take this advantage. And Tekio, that root, incredible save. Moon is not going to be able to contest this Fire Giant, but Bubbles and Saugen are both up. Sagan does have the teleport available. He does go into the back. He may be able to steal this or at least trade out a kill. Ultimate is used onto the Fire Giant. Goes onto one, kills Penguin with the help of the Fire Giant. He's going on to another. However, Crow takes out the Moon on the back end. Sagan, though, manages to get Tekio Karma. Penguin, Bubbles comes and finishes Crow. 4 for 1. Fire Giant was stopped. X cannot do this. Bubbles, Sagan, you guys are there, but you do not do enough damage yourselves. However, with Waffles and Sleet here, they are wanting this mid lane Phoenix, and they're going to do their best to separate Pele.
Yo, this is free. There is no way that Walters can slow these guys down. You've got a Poseidon that's doing solid damage onto this Phoenix, and of course, Mama Bubbles herself is also going to be doing a lot considering the pen build, and now they get this Phoenix without even needing to get a Fire Giant. That is a huge W for these guys, but they're going for the end here. The blink in from the Xing Chen might slow him down, but the Kraken is good on the Titan. But here comes the Volcanic Lightning. Up, down, there goes Waffles, and double kill for favorite Penguin as everyone's got to get out.
Armored Pillar's handing the one to kill the Penguin. Alyssa Sleet trying to do his best. Blink in from Walters. He's going to do everything he can and does successfully get the kill onto Sleet. X has overstepped their bounds. They did not pay enough attention to the respawn timers. 5 seconds was up when they went on Titan with the Frenzy Pop. They do not do enough damage now, even with Fire Giant, because it's not enhanced. Sagan going to try and take this tier 1 over in dual lane, or at least stop any sort of pressure. However, the tier 2 in mid is the call from Legion. And this one's going to fall. Moon cannot stop it on his own, so Saga's going to have to try and help defend this mid Phoenix.
This set has been back and forth. I mean, that's really been the name of the game between these two teams. You'd think that they might have been able to end the game there, but they really didn't do it. And now that Legion were able to save their base, it's time for them to push up again. But the issue is that Bubbles fell down, and now Speechless Moon is grabbing too. There's only 2 members left. There's no Phoenix standing in the mid lane, and Karma's able to actually get the dash through the walls thanks to the passive.
Big ultimate out of Waffles to knock up 2 members onto the mid Phoenix. Moon gonna use the ultimate to come back, slow Karma down, make it so that they can trap and kill him. Now Tekio, without his ult, is the only one alive. All members of X are up. We went from one bad decision to another from Legion. The greed onto this mid Phoenix has cost them greatly. Oni Fury is the call, and I like it. Sure, you could have tried to W key on the Titan, but you just learned off that last engagement. Let's not get too greedy and ahead of ourselves here.
I like the learning throughout this game. You can really see the wheels turning in X's head. Okay, a little overzealous there, boys. The call is to now back it up just a little bit. And I'm liking that these guys are really working together as a team. They're listening and they're learning as the game goes along. And clearly it's doing a lot of work for them. Because now not only do they have the only Phoenix taken down on the map, they also have this Fire Giant in hand. And not only do they have all that, Pyromancer and Oni minions.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for Legion. That mid-Phoenix call has costed them a lot more than they were planning. And unfortunately, because Fire Giant was up when they wanted to go for the Phoenix, instead of going for the objective, they went for the structure. And again, Waffle's ultimate, getting those knockups, setting up kills, has just caused so much pressure and annoyance for Legion that now they have to yet again deal with Oni minions. The difference this time, they do not have to worry about any Oni fire minions. So we're not going to see a Titan at half health again here anytime soon.
Yeah, thank God they're already dealing with those. Meanwhile, more fire minions are walking down that middle lane, and everyone's kind of split up trying to get the rest of these towers down. They've got to be careful, though, because there is a grouping up starting to happen around this tier 2 on the left-hand side. The question here is, are these 2 tanks going to defend it? Because if they do, I don't really see a way that they can do it. And if they fall down here, that's going to be game for sure.
Army Pillars comes out. Penguin looking to get his ultimate as well. Was CC'd for a little bit. This tier 2 tower does fall in the end, but Whirlwind of Rage and Steel is used. Throws away from members of AG Legion in reality. Rivers comes through, does damage to Penguin, who nearly falls. And now going through, Alters gets a good knockup off. I'm a Monster misses the mark. Waffles gets the double kill off the Kraken. Bubbles cleans up Penguin on the back end. Sagan is here causing trouble for Karma and Walters with the tether. Bubbles cleans that one up as well. Mid Phoenix comes back up, but the left Phoenix is the call. The Dia side comes through. Minions will clean up that mid Phoenix. Lermy, game 2 is going to go the way of X, as they have just decided Legion in such a turn. 2 bad decisions from each team. A Fire Giant being the difference for this tier 2 fight. And just what happened that made it go so quickly all of a sudden?
Them pushing back after defending their base successfully made it so that Legion tried really hard to get the enemy's Phoenix, but the issue is that X was coming up just in time to defend, and that successful defense from X is what broke the game wide open for them. They were able to grab so much, as we talked about, off the back of that, and there was basically nothing that they could have done.
Yeah, and that, I mean, just so much. Waffles at the end getting 2 good Krakens. Last one to help finally push the nail in the coffin for X so that they could close this one out and become your Albion Division Final champions. And with that, I'm TIH Vengeance. This was Lurby. We're going to go ahead and throw it back to the desk. Usha, C-Money, what do you guys think?
Well, first of all, I think you guys did a fantastic job today. Lermy, thank you for being here with us. TH, thank you as well. Oh my goodness, C-Money, I feel like a flip switch there for X. It felt like they just showed up.
I mean, yeah, from the start, you saw Speechless get that first blood early on, and I mean, they had their foot on the gas pedal on this one. They did have that one hiccup, kind of trying to end a little too early that didn't go well on the Titan, but I mean, this one felt like they were in solid control throughout.
Yeah, man, it just felt like they were in control. I know Pingu got an early kill at level 3 onto Soggen, who was playing the Osiris, but in the end, it doesn't even matter because X gets the 2-0, and as Vengeance said, they are your NA Albion Division Finals champions. What a performance from them this split. I believe I can't remember if they dropped the game or not. They might have had a clean slate getting here.
Yeah, I believe they did. The only one they dropped was against the third camp, and that ended up being a weird situation anyway. But, I mean, outside of that, I'm pretty sure they ran the table pretty much throughout the league, and, I mean, we see that continue here.
Definitely, and we are showing the final bracket right now, as, of course, you just saw X take down Legion. So X gets to share 12,000 gems amongst their team. And Legion, they don't go home quietly. They're going to take home 6,000 gems to spread across their teams. But also, we had our third place matchup in which C-Money, your team came out on top there. And you're getting 600 gems per player. So I got to ask you what you're going to spend those on.
I hear there's a new fun battle pass coming out in a couple weeks that everyone's freaking out over, so that's probably what that'll go towards.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you say anything else, you're probably just trolling. Waffles is the one that's going to be making some bank for, running production and being on the winning team. I can't even fathom how much he's going to be getting in total. It's just insane to think about, Mr. Waffles. He could probably buy about 4 or 5 of those battle passes. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers up there. But anyways, thank you all for being here. We do have a credit video to roll at the very end. Once again, Lermy, TH, thank you so much for bringing us the action. C-Money, thank you for being here with me today. And it's been just a hell of a first split for us here. And don't forget, you can sign up for Split 2 relegations. Those are open until the 16th of July. Hopefully we see you then. It does it for us for now. Stick around for the credits.